Hi there, Jen here today up on the Scrapbook Pal YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining me. Today we're going to be making this really cute baby card using some Lawn Fawn products. The first one we're going to use is called Dotted Moon and Stars Backdrop. It's basically a cover die, but it cuts out a super cute a pattern. And then I'm going to be using the Elephant Parade, the stamps, and the matching dies. And then I'm also going to use this Hello die from Lawn Fawn. And I thought I'd go ahead and kind of do the reverse of what I normally do in making a card. And I thought I would do all of the die cutting first. So I went ahead and I double cut that Hello die so I can stack it. And then I'm going to cut some kind of craft brown paper as well as white paper using this Pinkfresh Studio Stitched Scalloped Circle. This is actually a three-part cut, but the white cardstock that I'm using is about 110 pounds, and I only ran it through once, and so it kept these two pieces together, which is quite all right with me because I wanted to be able to use those stacked together and not have to glue them together. And then I pulled out this ancient Fiskars tool, which basically makes any paper into a corrugated paper, and so I thought I would go ahead and use that to add a little bit of texture to the background. And then I'm going to cut out the cover die with a white piece of cardstock, and I'm also using 110-pound cardstock for this as well. And I like using a heavier cardstock for things like embossing folders and things with texture in the background, because I think it gives it a really pillowy look, which I absolutely love. But it has all these little moons and stars that come out of that, and I went ahead and set that aside. Those would be great for shaker mixes. I'm going to end up adding a few of them at the end of this card just as embellishments. And then I went ahead and I cut out another piece of kraft cardstock using a stitch die and then a rounded die, and I'm going to stack all of these pieces together. But before I do that, I thought I would go ahead and do some of the coloring. But the circle piece, the corrugated piece that I created, I was going to cover up that entire middle portion of this circle scallop die, and I decided I just didn't want to cover up all of that beautiful background with that moon and stars backdrop, and so I went ahead and decided to go ahead and fold it. Why I didn't cut it, I have no clue, but I did go ahead and fold that in half so that more of that background shows through. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my coloring, and I have stamped up all of my image on some hammer mill cardstock using some Memento black ink. And I'm going to start out with some Copic chow markers in the colors C0, C2, and C5. And then later on, I do go back in with C3 just to get it blended out a little bit more. I am not a pro by any means at this marker coloring. I just try and do the best that I can. And so I'm basically, most of the time I do go dark to light with my coloring, and so that's what I am doing here. I am putting the darkest area where I think the shadows are, and then going back in with those lighter and mid-tone colors. And I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring off the cute little elephant. For the ears, I used RV 000 just to add a little touch of pink in that ear. And then I went ahead and I colored the little mice in warm grays, and the only warm grays I have are W0 and W2, and so that's what colors that's what I colored those two. And then for the flag, I am using YG03 and YG00. And then I'll go ahead and finish up my coloring and then cut all of these out with the coordinating dies. And now I'm going to start putting the card together, and I've gone ahead and I've taken that same craft paper and used a stitch die, and then I've gone ahead and cut down the moon and stars panel and have some rounded corners on that, and I am going to add some liquid adhesive to that and adhere that to that brown cardstock. And I will list some similar dies that you can purchase from Scrapbook Pal. that will kind of give you the same effect as these dies from my stash. And then I am going to take that Hello die and add a little bit of adhesive to that so that I could stack these two together to add a little bit of dimension. And that piece will go under the stamping block as well, just to make sure that it adheres really well. And then I'm going to take the scalloped circle piece and add some liquid adhesive to the back of that and add that to my panel. And then I will take the corrugated paper and add that as well. And this piece is just going to fit into the scalloped circle portion. And I didn't realize when I had put that white outer piece on that I needed to make sure it lined up with this piece, because what happened was it threw off that corrugated piece a little bit, so it's slightly crooked. But I tried to cover that up using some of these die cuts. But these are the different changes that I made, just trying to figure out the layout and make it look cohesive and put together, but not too busy. And so I finally decided on the final layout, and I'm pretty happy with that. I wanted to make sure that I fit most of these elements on the card, but I didn't want it to look too crowded or busy. So I'm going to go ahead and start adhering all of my different elements. And I'm going to go ahead and finish adding all of the different elements, and then the sentiment that I add is from the stamp set as well. And then to finish the card off, I did use several of the pieces from the stars and moon background. So I grabbed some stars and a moon, and I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive and use those kind of as little embellishments to fill in that space. And that's going to finish off my card for today. I'm really happy with how it turned out. These are super cute products, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video, I would love a thumbs up. Don't forget, the design team has amazing projects both on the blog and the YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe and check out all of the inspiration that we have there. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to catch you next time.